What's going on, Ward? It's your boy at Big Game James
_36.
_36. This is at Big Games BS, brought to you by a part of Den Media Group, brought to you by thehumidor.com. Thehumidor.com is the go-to website for all things tobacco related. Man, I just realized, I just did the math, guys. You want to know how good thehumidor.com is with the prices? It's literally who we have stopped buying wholesale from wholesalers, and we just buy straight from thehumidor.com right now for our cigar lounge. It's actually a pretty good damn deal when you look at their already discounted prices. But if you are a listener of the Sports Den or any of our subsidiaries, which are coming up soon, you know what you get? You get 20% off if you type in Sports Den at checkout. And if you spend over $150, they give you free shipping. So it's really like if you're buying cigars or you're buying anything for your nicotine habits and you're not using them, you're foolish. If you can't get there, go to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits is like the best liquor store in history. And if you can't get to one of those places, you know where you should go? The greatest cigar lounge in the world, Goodfellas. It's like Cheers with a mob twist. Everybody knows your name, and it could get down. It goes down tonight, and really Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. We have live music, and it's really, really good. It's a good vibe. You want to take your old lady somewhere that has a hole in the wall vibe, but it's very, very upscale looking. Come over here to Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. Consider getting a membership. Come get. We have some of the best Scotch selections, best liquor selections that you could possibly get. We're just that good of a spot. So come check us out. Especially if you're looking for things to do on the weekend, in particular this weekend. So I'm sharing this because if you watch this live, we would appreciate this. I don't really care about Facebook as much as I do YouTube, but I still feel like I gotta let people know where we're at. Hold on, check us out. But if you want to comment live, you got to go to YouTube or Facebook. Check us out live. But speaking of YouTube, I'm trying to get that thing up to 2,000. I think last night we were at 1559. So let me see where we're at right now officially on the YouTube channel count. We are still at 1599. So we're right close to 1,600. We need more subscribers. Also consider becoming a member. If you've seen my stuff for the Super Bowl, you want to come hang out and party like Big Game, you got to be that $100 membership. But there's going to be things as low as $3.99. We're going to have extra content, extra interviews, and a couple of series that I plan on starting here in the summer will be released weekly on Den Media Group, but we will have them all available to you on we'll have them all available. It could be like a Netflix subscription for Big Game and all the other content that we have. So check that out, especially the 30, the 3-6 Mafia and above. All that money goes directly to the book bag drop. So each month you do that, you're basically purchasing a book bag for a kid. And some of the ticket drives and stuff that we do. So like this weekend, we're taking 200 people to the FSU men's basketball game tomorrow at noon. And then we're taking 150 people to the women's basketball game on Sunday. We've got some baseball games. We got some softball games. At the basketball game, they'll get a chance to hang out with the Golden Girls. So if you got a son and he wants to hang out with some girls that, you know, that are shaking their tail, this would be good. Or if you got a daughter who likes to dance, this would be a great opportunity for you to meet Chaz if you are a part of my group. But obviously, if you're a part of that den, the den mates, we will make sure that you get these ticket drives and stuff like that. Shout out to I don't know if I could officially shout out who was the help with the sponsor for that yet, but just know that there's some really, I hate saying this because the old NIL collective that I was a part of always talks about big things coming and nothing ever comes. But you just know big things are coming. One of my favorite things in growing up in the hood, and 96 through, what year was it? I'd say 95 through 98, right? They literally jammed up my whole block. Like, it was cats going to jail. It was undercovers. My mom actually got a chance to work for the police department, and for this program called Weed and Seed. And she knew she had to get me out of the neighborhood that I was in because, like, she could see. Obviously, you get a chance to see what's coming down when you see the police reports, you see the arrests and stuff. So, like, we had like from 95 to 98. So from really like 99 through like 2010, a lot of guys were coming home. And a lot of sayings was free my dog, little Nuck Nuck, or free my dog this, free my dog head, free my dog this, free my dog till they free. But, you know, I loved when guys got freed because it always happened around when food stamps dropped. So when food stamps dropped, you know, it was immaculate, man. I'm talking about these celebrations were dope. If you ever see, I think it's Dre Day video, that's what it reminded me of. Like good barbecue, good stuff, celebrating people's freedom. Now, some of those people went back to jail. But at the same time, you know, my dogs was free. Is that my hair right there like that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I thought you did that.
I did not know that. My locks are just long. But so my dog did a bid. It was I think it was a case of mistaken intent, but he got locked up in September of 2019. And he's been doing hard time. Like gave him life. They gave him life without the possibility of parole. But then some new laws came in place, and my dog submitted his team. My team, we submitted his appeal 2 days ago. They put him on probation yesterday morning for 12 hours, put him in a halfway house, and then he was freed. And that's my dog, Big Game James 36. My dog, Big Game James 36, is now freed from the shackles of Twitter prison. Thank you, Elon Musk. You know, it was everybody was just, they saw it, they were shocked. And what sucks about it is that when I went into Twitter prison, I was at 10,000 followers. So at first they come in and I don't have no followers. I got zero. But you can see I was in some group chats and I was able to talk. So I was starting to get some followers. Once you get your whole freedom, they release you the followers that are still there. The problem is that I'm like at 8,300 followers on that now. So Elon and them took 1,700 from me, but my dog is free. He's out here. He's roaming the streets. Some of you guys were babies when my dog went in, and now they see you full grown flourishing in these Twitter streets.
No, they're right.
That little Ray.
This is how I was when I saw some of y'all tweets.
What the fuck,
That
man?
little Ray. That little Ray.
I love you, boy.
It was wild about seeing.
No.
Yeah, the belt is
right.
crazy. The late 90s and early 2000s was a wild time. Our clothes were entirely too big. The belts were like, you know, that belt is made for a whale. But we were like, the belts were hanging down, like the threaded belts. It was a thing then. I don't know why. But what's crazy from seeing an account get activated that's been down since 2019. And I went back and I looked through a lot of the stuff, and boy, I was looking for this Eazy-E quote, and there's this Eazy-E thing where he's getting interviewed, probably by Barbara Walters, because, you know, Barbara gets a pass to say the N-word.
I don't like the nigga.
Did you push it? You know, Barbara uses the N-word fluently. Shout out rest the dead. I know she's looking up at us. But but there was this Eazy-E thing, and he's just like sipping on a soda, and they're like, "Are you a gangster?" And he's like, "Not anymore." Well, what did you change? No, I've just grown. And like, I'm reading me in 2019 and I'm seeing the way that I tweet now. Maybe there is something. Like, y'all think I'm wild, but that guy was tweeting some recklessness, man. I don't know. Like, maybe he didn't deserve to go to jail for what he went to Twitter jail for. But I will say it was, you know, he was a little different than what I am tweeting out now. So but yeah, if you can go follow either of them, You can follow Big Game James 36, or you can follow at Big Game James _36. I can go change everything back now that I don't have that. But one of them I probably will be a little bit more me on, and the other one I will probably be more professional. I have no idea which one I want to do that yet, but it was fun to see some of those tweets. So make sure you check out all of the stuff that's going on with that, with the different channels. So that's our housekeeping. That's our housekeeping for today's show. So going to Jaguars news. First and foremost, I want to say fuck the Jaguars old wide receiver coach that did leave us to go to Texas. Bitch said he wasn't leaving, said he wasn't entertaining the shit. Now the motherfucker's gone. So fuck him. But the Jaguars got two new two new coaches, wide receiver coach Chad Hall and offensive quality control coach Greg Austin. Meanwhile, everybody is still playing around with our cooter. Everybody's trying to get Jim Bob to leave us, and we don't want our cooter to leave. Like it's just really weird. Chad Hall, and I'm gonna read off a little bit. Just the statement is: I'd like to welcome both Chad Hall and Greg Austin to the organization. Said Peterson. Chad and Greg are both talented coaches that have consistently showcased an ability to connect with and relate to players. I am pleased by the staff's overall continuity, which is important as we continue to build beyond 2023. Hall arrives in Jacksonville after spending the previous 6 seasons working with the Buffalo Bills. He began his coaching career with the Bills in 2017 as an offensive assistant before being promoted to wide receivers coach in 2019. During Hall's tenure as a wide receivers coach, the Bills' offense ranked 3rd in the NFL in points per game, 27, and 4th in yards per game. Under Hall's tutelage, wide receiver Stephen Diggs made Pro Bowl 3 times, earned first-team All-Pro. He set franchise records. Cole Beasley, the rapper, garnered second-team All-Pro after totaling 82 receptions for a career-high 967 yards. In 2021, Diggs was selected to his consecutive Pro Bowl. Gabriel Davis set a playoff record, catching 4 touchdowns. Diggs earned Pro Bowl in 2022, while Davis totaled a career-high 48 receptions, 836 yards. Hall played for the Philadelphia Eagles, the 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs. So he is former Air Force. He played running back. He was a unicorn. White running backs typically don't exist except for at the service academies, where there's a lot of white people. Kudos to him. At first, when you look at Chad, he looks like every Chad that I know. I would not be coached by Chad, but Chad's resume is pretty good. But then again, yeah, Stephen Diggs. But then again, Calvin Ridley has applied for his reinstatement, so he may have inherited a good wide receiver core. And I'm going to be honest with you, NFL coach's job is to make sure you know your playbook and to make sure that you don't fuck up. At this point, you can either do or you can't. It's not a lot of brain in all of it. So shout out to Chadrick. We'll get into that. And, the Jags. Yeah. So that's my Jags talk. We'll get into more Jags talk again. You need to become a member because when I go to the Pro Bowl, it's going to be a lot of shit. I'm going to be trying to interview some guys who I believe are potential draft prospects. We're going to talk to some Jags representatives as well while we're up there. I think it'll be good times, cool times. Hopefully I get a chance to meet Chad, and Chad will greet me like Keenan McCardell used to greet me at the Combine. Keenan McCardell cool as shit too, by the way. So going into the news that really had the timeline buzzing yesterday. Nothing in the world, and I need to get a guy like this. Another notable Chad in my life, Chad Scott, which I found out that wasn't his real name. It bothered me. I feel like I've been lied to. His name is Chad Scott on Twitter, but that's not Chad's real name. I don't understand why people can't give you their real names. I get that's our work names. Like it was Spider-Man in Civil War. Okay, I get it. We're all using our fake names. That's what I tell people on Twitter when we meet each other. But can we if we get to a certain point in our relationship, can we at least get to be civil? So Chad Scott was the king of writing headlines. I would write an article And Chad would make the art, write a headline that was so salacious that made people were getting mad at me about articles that I wrote that didn't, and the headline had very little to do with the goddamn article. They're like, you shouldn't say that. I said, did you click? And that's when I started to click the link movement. You got to click the link before you can start arguing with people. Now, I'm not opposed to this. Sometimes I don't feel like reading. Sometimes I just see something in passing and I'm like, well, that's stupid. And I just retweet it and be like, man, but this one in particular, this thing in particular, I didn't really give my opinion. I still believe this. We have more important shit to be worried about than this. So if you can show us the initial tweets. And the cool thing about it is, Barstool Sports came out the gate swinging. Because the state of Florida is looked at as a wild place. And if you really look at our governor, who I was supposed to meet yesterday, and he knows that he's not 4-5. One thing I respect about 4-5 said what he meant and meant what he said. He stood on that shit. 4-5 was a true bully. This is a guy who's trying to be 4-5 light. Like like a weak chase drink. But Barstool comes out the gate. Florida lawmakers, known clowns, want to make storming the field a crime. And I'm like, wow, okay. So Barstool puts that up. Then another one gets put up. And, I see this one, College Football Talk Daily. 2 Florida senators have introduced a bill to make storming the field illegal. I retweet like, damn, do we have more important shit to worry about? Like, like stopping crime, securing the border, shipping immigrants out like that. He likes to do, which is wild. He Chinese balloons, like he shipped the black immigrants to Queen, but he didn't ship the Cubans. Like the Haiti kids came over, okay. The Mexicans come over, hey, all right, we'll ship them to the liberals. The Cubans came though, you ain't shipped their ass because I ain't mad at this. It's all politics, bro. I get it. Once you kind of get a chance to know some of these people, you understand that a lot of this shit is really a game, and really, you want to know how to get under the thumb of the oppressor? Become the 1%. That's the only way to do it, guys. Race to the top. That's all I can tell you, man. Like, cause poor white, guess what? You are a nigga to them. I promise you, dog. Because it's like your opinion does not matter. You can fight. He listens to us. No, the fuck he doesn't. Because if my black ass comes to him with a $20,000 check, you know who he's gonna listen to? Me. He ain't listening to you. The problem is you guys don't realize that yet. But when they put the 2 senators, this is the one that got me the phone call. Happen to know one of the senators. Most of the people listening to this show happen to know one of the senators. He's a noted Florida State football alum. I believe he was the number 9 overall. No, he's number 6 overall pick in the 2000 NFL draft by the Philadelphia Eagles, and one by the name of Corey Simon. I know Corey very well. Corey's actually come to Goodfellas and spoke. So Corey put a tweet out there, said that's not what the bill says. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. Corey says it's not what the bill says and shit. I'll holler at him. Corey doesn't stop at that. Corey picks up the phone and fucking calls me. JC, why you ain't just called me, man? Why you had to say? I'm like, Corey, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm literally dropping my jit off at daycare. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, Corey. Well, I wrote the bill. I said, Corey, I had no idea you wrote the bill. I had zero clue you wrote the bill, bro.
You don't know how well connected you are.
Right. That's what I be trying to tell. I was like, he's like, man, it's your job in the media. I said, well, first off, I am not a political media guy. I do not like that stuff because you literally, to be in political media, you literally can't be down the middle. And you can't just write the facts. You literally have to be left or you have to be right. That's the only way that you can be if you're doing political media. But I'm like, but Corey, you could just tell me what the bill is like. I said, that's really y'all fault for bad marketing. In the state of Florida, it is not a crime to streak.
Really?
The most you can't get arrested. Excuse me. It's not a criminal. It's not truly criminal. You can get arrested for trespassing. And then what happens is the only way they'll get you back for trespassing is if you come back to that same place and you do it again. So what happens is when you streak on the field, they take you down, you got to pay a fine. But then after that, you're banned from that stadium. You can't go back. But there's no real penalty. And what was happening is, if you've seen some of these streakers, none of them are just rocking their clothes. One guy in College Street, and this is cool to know that he didn't get arrested or didn't face the time. Burger King had just started the King costumes. I was on the field when this guy happened. He got on the field in the full King costume and streaked across the field, and they almost got away. I was rooting for him, actually. But because there's really no way to get away when you're on the field, because if you go to the exits, that's where the police are. If you go back to the stands, you have to jump up into the stands, run up the steps, where guess what? There's probably going to be people there to get you. There's police officers there too. So streaking, but it was good marketing for Burger King. I'm sure Burger King didn't pay him. What's funny is I have macroeconomics that next Monday. He goes to the macroeconomics class dressed in our professor couldn't see. It was a 300 person classroom. So he walks up to him with a croissant sandwich in the King costume and hands it to him. I thought it was awesome. This is why social media should have been and couldn't have been around in the beginning of my college career, because life would have been bad. Or actually, as it is today, I would have, you guys would not know who I am. I'd be arrested. You would have been trying to cancel me before I got my chance. It was wild. It was the late 90s, early 2000s. A lot of wild shit was going on. Like, that's all I can tell you. But so you can't get arrested for that. But if you look at these guys, they're wearing t-shirts with branding. They're writing things on their body. If you go and you streak at a game and they get you and put on ESPN, you are getting millions of dollars of advertising for your company. What better way to do that than to give somebody? Then the fine is like $2,500. Yeah. I give you $5,000 as a college student. You don't give a fuck about going to another game. You got $25,000. You pay your fine. You walk away with a $2,500 profit. So now in this bill, it criminalizes people who interrupt the game. It's the gameplay. It's like, it is clear in the bill when you read it that it's if you interrupt gameplay. So that means, when people storm the field, the game is fucking over. Now, if you storm the field with 3 seconds left in the game, in a tightly contested game, they're probably still not going to take all of you to jail, because that's a lot of people. But the reality is that's what the law introduced. And you know who brought this up? The NBA, the NFL, the MLB, the pro leagues are the ones who asked for something to be done so that they can deter this. So like now, okay, I can't just offer you $5,000 to $10,000, because now you're gonna have a criminal record and you could potentially face jail time. The more you know. But the headline was salacious. And what College Football Talk did, which is great. This is Florida State fans were triggered by this. You know why? Because everybody picked on us for the alleged storming of the field against the University of Florida. And I'm not giving a slant to any of this. This is just what the fuck happened. This is the bill. So like, some people say they don't like CSOM. I'm like, all right, cool. That's your prerogative. I happen to like Corey, but I also have friends that I have no problem saying are full of shit. Damn, can we pause this somehow? Or like put like some video and then come back? Because I gotta take this call.
All right.
And just mute. Hello? What may say?
He says, the show's still being uploaded to podcast platforms. February 3rd is the most recent one I can find, and I don't pay you to stream while my phone is locked.
Not fair. I'll put it up on YouTube. I'll put it up on there. We only did one show last week, so it'll be 4 shows that will be uploaded, John G. Appreciate that, man. It's just difficult. It's like a little bit more difficult than what it's been in the past, but when we had JJ, we just stripped that bitch right there, and JJ uploaded it. So that was but I'll make sure we get all of that stuff upload it so that we can so that you can enjoy that on SoundCloud. No, SoundCloud automatically goes to Spotify, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. So if you have us on Apple Podcasts or Google Play or Spotify, you'll be able to get that. So this show and the last couple shows will be up there probably by the end of the business day today. So but yeah, so in all of that saying, guys, is just realize, even if it's coming from me, 90% of the time for me, I try not to come from a slant, but you can't, it's inherent when we're giving opinion. What's the comedian who does the Daily Show name? No, the guy who's his affiliate. It's a black guy. He's hilarious. Bigger black guy. Anyways, they'll come to me. He came up with something that was very true. And this is why I kind of try not to wear the suits anymore on the show, because I'm giving you my opinion. If you're given, the only people who should be able to wear suits that are newscasters are the ones who are reading the exact facts. This is what happened. Like, they're not giving, hold up, wait a minute, that's green right there.
Oh, new member Charles Walker.
Boom! What up, Charles? I think we up to 4 now. That's what's up. I don't know what membership level you got, but I appreciate you. Appreciate you. But if you're wearing a suit on news broadcast, you have to be telling the truth, the facts. Anybody giving an opinion should have to wear t-shirts and sweats. Like, because you know what happens when you see somebody in a suit? You automatically assume they're telling you something. They're trustworthy. They got to know what they're talking about. They're wearing a suit, right? But
fashion is the quickest way to gain status without doing
that part. So, anyways, all that being said, CSON broke it down to me. We are not stopping fans from storming the field. And hold on. And that's about it. Invoice number. Sorry, everybody. Nobody hits me up when I'm not working. Speaking of guys who need to stop wearing suits because they're giving their opinions and they're full of lies and full of shit, is the guy who has the most egregious hairline in America. It's a shame, and it's why him and Jalen Rose could not get along. Jalen Rose, who I believe has his hairline tattooed on his head. It is time for us as a family, America, if anything could unite the nation, right? It could be all of our collective disdain for Stephen A. Smith's hair. Hey, I got a big forehead, but at the same time, Stephen A. Smith can't claim forehead on that. Now, if it was something funny like my guy on the 85 South show, one of the guys, Chico Bean, during COVID, we couldn't get haircuts, so Chico Bean stopped shaving his head and let the sides grow, and he looked like Fred Sanford, and he even got him braided up. I would respect Stephen A. Smith more for that. But
what Bomani did.
No,
he was growing his hair back. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, Bomani, no. That's a bad.
That's crazy.
So, but you need to go the way of my boy Sir Dibby Dukes. Just go bald. But nobody tells more egregious lies than old black men, and I'll get into this more. But Stephen A. Smith, and I got 2 Stephen A. Smith, so you can pull up the video one. We'll play that because it just doesn't make any sense. But this is what Stephen A. Smith said in a convo he had. Stephen A. Smith on a convo he had with Isaiah Thomas about Steph Curry. Isaiah Thomas Zeke, not the junior, Zeke, the Hall of Fame one, not that one. Go to the next one. Said to me that if he was playing in our era, he would not have averaged more than 18 points a game, saying that Steph Curry wouldn't be that good, trying to perpetuate the stereotype that the 80s and 90s basketball was just so much better. So what does Isaiah Thomas say? This is false. I have always been extremely positive whenever I have spoke about Steph Curry 30. Stop lying on people. That is not what you want to have done to you as a sports journalist. It's because unless you got receipts. And I don't think he's got receipts on Zeke like that. Stephen A. Smith has been told to stop doing this shit numerous times. Stephen A. Smith is the same guy who said that the Chargers were going to be able to use their tight end who hadn't played all season a few years ago. I think it's just like his hairline is tired. Stephen A. Smith is just tired, and he's just overworked. Like he's making $8 million a year or something, maybe 10 million now, and they literally make this man work. Was it there 168 hours in a week? This man works 155 of them, and he doesn't watch sports. He just gets it. What people don't realize is most of these guys are given the facts on a sheet of paper, and they're very, very good orators and debaters. The problem is when you don't actually know the source work of what you're talking about, you end up looking like Stephen A. Smith. And shout out to Charles. He said he's going. Charles, man, listen, dog, I don't give a damn which level you did. I appreciate you. If you want to re-up, just encourage others to come bless the guy. Now, Stephen A. Smith took his commentary on First Take and gave what he believes is some straight up bars about Eric Bieniemy and why. And every time I say it, I remember this. I don't know which Pilgrim chick it was at 1010 that called him Eric the Enemy. Why do they call him Eric the Enemy? What did he do? Eric the Enemy. You tell them. This is what I'm talking about. The people that y'all listen to, they just you should start. What are the requirements? Fuck the pictures that they put on the websites. Bitch, what's your resume?
That's a cool ass name.
Yeah, I would love it. I would embrace Eric the Enemy. Motherfucker, I'm the enemy because I've been to 5 straight I've been to 5 straight AFC championships, and I've been to 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of them motherfuckers. They hate me. But let's play the video of why Stephen A. Smith says Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a job as an African American right now. This is what an African American report, and this is why I have my opinions about why we have to be careful as black men what we say. But what does Stephen have to say?
Everyone's failing to make because, and I know we know it's true, we're just hesitant. And the word blame is not appropriate here. I'm not saying blame as if it was done intentionally. But when we think about what's holding Eric Bieniemy back most, it's Andy Reid. Andy Reid has cost Eric Bieniemy a head coaching job in the National Football League. We don't want to say it, but it's true. And here's the reason why. Because even though you're the head coach, you don't have to call plays. He chose to. Not all the time. Most of the time, it might be Eric Bieniemy. But Andy Reid not only called some plays, he made sure we knew he called plays. The NFL community knew he called plays. There's plenty of head coaches in the National Football League, Coach Herm Edwards. Mad Dog Russo, you've been covering sports for decades. There's plenty of head coaches in the league that have offensive coordinators that are calling plays. Even when they make a call, you don't hear about it because the offensive coordinator is calling the plays. You might get in his ear and say, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see that.
Herm wants to tell him that you're a fucking idiot.
Yet somehow in Kansas
That's what Herm
City,
will tell you that.
it's convoluted. 1 minute it's Eric Bieniemy, another minute it's
I don't
Andy
know
Reid.
what
Well, who's calling and
great
who
value
deserves
Skip
credit?
Bayless is
If
thinking
you
right
give
now.
owners a choice to give credit
But
to somebody,
you can push pause
who
on it.
the
This is
hell
why I
do you
don't
think
watch
they're gonna
this
get
shit.
credit?
Oh, it's amazing.
But like, what's crazy about Stephen A. Smith is his ability to be so have that righteous anger.
It's an act. It's all an act.
Because you want to know what people who've actually played this game have said. And I'm lucky that I happen to know these guys. I actually talked to Brian McFadden on Tuesday. BMAC states Matt Nagy didn't call plays, and everyone knew it. He became a head coach. Mike McDaniels, Joe Judge didn't call plays. They became head coaches. Doug Peterson had the same role as Eric Bieniemy and got a head coaching job. So Eric B not being the primary play caller has nothing to do with him not getting a head coaching job. Antonio Cromartie, tell me how Stephen A. Smith should have been commas at school. I do that too. When other coaches under Andy Reid have gotten head coaching jobs that did not call plays. Like, and then if you listen to yesterday's show, Wednesday's show, what did Andy Reid say about Eric Bieniemy on the greatest stage? Eric Bieniemy called a great game. Like, it's one thing to make, like, so the Isaiah Thomas statement, you can make that with boldness, hoping that Isaiah doesn't say anything because people will believe it. But you're literally lying when there's clear receipts. Like, what? For what reason? There literally is no reason, Stephen A. Smith. And what happens is there are clear cases of what I'm not saying. He's not suggesting that Andy Reid is racist. That's why he said, I don't want to say blame. But like, there's a lot of things where the man does hold us back. But you just brought up probably one of the best men who has been pro-black for us. You attacked an ally.
That part I agree with. That's kind of messed up.
Like, it's like what was my guy who reminded me of my uncle, the old coach for the Buccaneers, that literally had the blackest staff I've ever seen in my life. He man drank Crown Royal. He looked just like my Uncle Harry. I kid you not, this motherfucker he was a shade lighter than my Uncle Harry, who was clearly black, but he was very light skinned. Damn, I can't believe I forgot his name, but he was a good ass coach too, man. Bruce Arians. Uncle Bruce is what I called him. It's like saying it's Uncle Bruce's fault that black coaches aren't in the NFL. Uncle Bruce looking at his damn staff like, bitch, I hire one more black coach. I'm gonna have an HBCU staff over here.
Right.
Stephen, it's just, I appreciate what you've done for the profession. I wouldn't be in this chair right now if it wasn't for guys like you. But god damn, the stick is old, bro. Like, it really comes in. One of the things that old people do is never know when to bow out. It's like because what happens is you want to stay in this position so long that you stay there and you've worked your ass off to get to where you're at. But now you're fucking it up. You're fucking the game up for the rest of us.
But he can't. We don't care about, was it JJ Redick or anybody.
Right. And JJ Redick's actually good too,
Yeah,
but
we don't care.
I definitely don't care about the Duke basketball player that was stupid and got killed, damn near killed himself on a motorcycle. Was it Jay Williams? I don't give a fuck about Jay Williams either. I don't care about Ebo Achu, who I saw at the Rick Ross party, and I almost threw a shoe at his ass just because I don't like him. I don't have to agree with your opinions to not like you. Like, it just, I mean, I get like you and still, I get not like you and still be like, all right, man, that was a solid point. I just don't like it, you. It's like, I gotta send you this video I have with my with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is like, you're not gonna answer my question? No, I don't like you. You answer such and such, I like him. I don't like you. Or Allen Iverson says that I want you to come into the screen. Just know that I don't like you. Just like you don't like me, I don't like you. And your daddy. Like, he said that was some, woo, I was like, I don't know who. He's like, you know who I'm talking. I was like, I don't know who he talking to, but his ass mean that he do not like them. I can't say those things quite yet. I just got on parole from Twitter, so I gotta be careful before I start popping off. Or they gonna send me to the clink again. But there is no person that I don't like, and I don't want to be a hater. I never want to be associated with being a hater. But like, again, the theme of nobody lies like old black men. And sometimes the lies are so bad. And one guy who's been lying since he's got his newfound job with the white man is Deion Sanders. I'm just joking. That was tongue in cheek. My man got his bread. But like Deion, for a guy who's so Christian principle, right? Deion Sanders made it seem like God sent me to Jackson, Mississippi. Since he has left, he has made Jackson, Mississippi sound like Camden, like how the news talks about Camden, New Jersey. If you know about Camden, New Jersey was voted consistently like the worst place in America to live. I don't want no smoke with Camden, New Jersey. And right now, I don't want to go to Jackson, Mississippi.
Hey, we got another one?
What up, B? I don't know. Appreciate you, homie. Appreciate you. But so let's play with Deion. Now, Deion's talking about, now, granted, it's 1.6% African American population in Boulder, Colorado, for those who don't know. And most of those are probably football players. What up, Chris? But play the video. Like, see what Deion's talking about You know, because Deion said he got robbed. He got all these other things happening to Jack. If you're the only person getting robbed at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, he didn't. So, okay, so before we get into this, now listen. This is what Deion Sanders said. Now, listen to this, Miles, and just think about some of your roughest moments and maybe some of your friends who may have a criminalized past. I know robbers. Never in the history of robbery have I heard of somebody getting robbed and then bringing the shit back. That means you have to go back to the scene of the crime. So Deion was robbed and all of the stuff magically appeared back.
That's like some Jay Prince.
You're not Jay Prince. Nobody's fucking afraid of a man with 8 toes. Anyways, my bad. That's what Deion's talking about because Deion's so happy to get out of the hood now.
Okay. And Colorado is, you know, I don't travel, I don't go anywhere. That was unbelievable. I mean, just for God to take me there and to see that every day, man.
It's beautiful.
Boulder, oh my God. And you know, I've never.
You are an outdoorsman, by the way.
Yeah, but
I
in
know
14
you, right.
years,
Yeah.
I've never played in the snow. I never had to play in the snow.
I know.
So just seeing the snow and just going snowmobiling.
I ain't gonna lie, when you see
Unbelievable,
snow
blew my
and
mind.
you haven't really
I've
seen
never-
it, it's kind of
You've
cool.
never snowmobiled?
I've never been in the snow like that. So it's crazy. And then it's not cold. Like 30 there is like hoodie weather. It's not cold. It's not like 30 in Texas or 30 in Dallas or 30 in, Florida.
So you can handle
Nah,
it
that's
cold.
bullshit.
Oh my God, I love it.
Cold is cold.
I've adjusted my skin.
I was freezing my ass off in
Everything
Kansas
is
City.
adjusted already.
Oh,
Matter of fact,
Virtually
it was
no
the same
crime.
temperature in Kansas City as it was in Jacksonville, but colder.
I stopped him. Hey! Just wanted to introduce myself. Say hello.
See how things are
What's
going.
going on?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Popping around here.
Boulder's finest.
Oh my God. Boulder is unbelievable, man. I absolutely love it, Rich.
So that's Radio Row, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
That's that.
So, Chris, if you've seen this is why we got to get this shit done, Chris. God damn it. Like, bro, okay, so fuck Deion, man. We going off script. God damn it, we are going deep in this motherfucker. I was embarrassed. I had no reason to be embarrassed. Nobody knew who the fuck I was, but I was embarrassed nonetheless. And that's why I'm glad Bally Sports went out of business. Fuck Bally Sports. Bally Sports was right next to me and Sheena. Yeah, just see the set. So they had this kind of set. The Pat McAfee show had this kind of set. DraftKings had a set like this. It was like all the big sets surrounded. It was like immaculate.
Someone had to bring in them plants.
Right. They brought that's a fucking setup.
That's nuts.
And then they had like the what you call it, like what is it? They got? So like imagine like for my corporate American people, those were the big dog offices. Then they had the rest of us in the cubicle section. But some people, my mom worked in a cubicle, so I've never worked in a real job. My mom's worked in cubicles before. And, you know, you could do your cubicle up really nice, you know? Like, you can have your pictures of your family, you know, your little fraternity, sorority, your degree, all these other things. So some cubicles look better than other people's cubicles. Our cubicle was just a cubicle. You didn't even know that we were in our cubicle. But Bally Sports had these fucking 20 feet banners. They had the TVs. They had all these kind of other different things that they were showing. And it just made me like, you know, like, damn, we just over here with some keyboards and laptops, just tapping. So like next year, nah, man, fuck that. We may not have that because I don't know how much that costs. But right now, I don't feel like that's in my price range because the Super Bowl is just expensive. What we got was free. The 2 tables and the 2 surge protectors is free.
Get the cactus.
Yeah, we can get the cactus. We can bring the cactus in there. But we'll have some TVs and some stuff that we can set up to where we can make sure we do the damn thing right. But anyways, but go back to Deion. I don't know if the link comes through on the notes that I sent you in the email. Yeah. Oh yeah. Is that the article?
Yes.
Yeah. So Deion Sanders. Just so you can know how hypocritical, because I've already posted the hypocritical shit that Deion said. Now, to be fair, I know these are the conversations that happen every day in college sports. But it's stupid hypocritical for Deion Sanders to say this. Because this is what Deion says. Deion Sanders looks for a dual parent homes and quarterbacks.
Whoa.
That means they have both parents in the house. I'm not sure if you realize this, Deion. I don't know if anybody's ever told Deion this, but Shadur Sanders isn't in a dual parent home right now. Dion, you're divorced from this wife. Like that bitch you left, right? Now you with Babyface's wife right now. You ain't with Shadura's mama now. You do know that, right? Like your starting quarterback is technically from a single parent home. Now they got both parents. Like you're right now, what Deion Sanders said, I would not recruit Patrick Mahomes. I would say Jalen Hurts, who is from a dual parent home, but I won't say Patrick Mahomes. I think you'd be foolish to turn either one of them kids down. I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Most coaches don't say this. Now, what coaches do say this is I've heard this. I want single mama households for my D linemen. I have heard a coach say, I don't want a kid unless they got a JEA red letter or they got a 3-day pay to vacate on their thing because them kids is hungry. Them kids got to pay for mama a house. And then they asked him a whole bunch of things. This is on the same show that he just did with Rich Eisen when they were on Radio Row. And the problem with guys like this is y'all don't challenge these guys like to say like, yo, personally it's hilarious, but y'all will let anything that Deion Sanders say go. Y'all won't challenge them because you think challenging somebody is challenging how great of a football player they were. And that's not. Deion was the GOAT when it comes to DBs. He's a dick, though, and it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
You know, he says, Sanders says, he talks about recruiting. We have different attributes: smart, tough, fast, disciplined with character. Now, quarterbacks, we want the mother, father, dual parent. We want that kid to be a 3.5 GPA and up because he has to be smart. Not bad decisions off the field because he has to be a leader of men. Sanders says he looks for similar attributes in offensive linemen. So I'm almost of the ilk to say, you just say you want a white offensive lineman and a white quarterback from a privileged background that can afford Denny Thompson as quarterback training, that goes to a private school, it's part of the Latin club. I can imagine you got hats, Harvard, Yale, Colorado. That's what he wants.
And at the same time, aren't they coaches selling that these are the qualities we're going to instill in your child?
Deion ain't instilling shit. I don't want none of these coaches are instilling shit in your child. I don't want my son to be like, don't come in my house and say, I'm gonna be your son's daddy. Bitch, I will slap the fuck out of you. My son got one daddy. That's me. We are going to when Trey Coleman and hopefully Kai Coleman, when it comes time, 2033, I think is Trey's class, and 2038 will be Kai's. When it comes time for it, don't you come in my house telling me I'm gonna make your son a better man. He's gonna have a degree. You know, bitch, we was getting that anyway. How are you gonna get my son to the league? That's what we are here for. I am not going. You ain't got to lie to me. Lie to your pastor. You ain't got to lie to me. You coming here to win games. How we gonna win games, baby?
Lie to the single mothers.
Lie to the single mothers, yeah, that y'all trying to fuck. Because that's what you're trying to do. Like I've heard the stories. You can get this is.
No.
Oh man, I guess some bad single mamas out here now. Defensive line is the total opposite. Single mama trying to get it. He's on free lunch. I'm talking about just trying to make it. He's trying to rescue mama. Like mama barely made the flight, and I just want him to get it. It's a whole different. This is Deion Sanders quotes. No,
Oh my God.
I am not. This is what Deion said. No, I don't want to lie and tell you that this isn't what coaches think. Now, the quarterback thing, I don't think any coach thinks that. I think that's just Deion's dumbass. Everybody else says this, but what I like to do is I point out racism in both ways. If Deion Sanders was damn, fuck, it ain't but so many of them motherfuckers. If Deion Sanders was the greatest white corner to ever play this game, Jason Sehorn.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's just big, and he's not even like he's not even like top 50 black corners. Like he's the greatest white corner to ever play this game. If Jason Sehorn said this shit, Al Sharpton would be protesting Colorado right now. If my guy, I can't think of his name right now. My guy from Nice said this shit. Y'all would pull his scholarship.
Robert Lynch. I guess he's a safety.
Not John Lynch. John Lynch is the safety. If John Lynch said this shit, if a white quarterback said this shit, like anybody says this shit but Dion,
Yeah.
like
That's true.
it's why I say certain words is a house word. Like you're not supposed to say it in public, man. Say it in the fucking house, man. But I do know white coaches that say the most racist people in the world are white coaches. And I don't mean racist against black people. They're racist against whites. I told y'all the story. Mickey Andrews told my college roommate, Kyler Hall, that you should be lucky that you've earned a spot on this team because I don't recruit white people. This was an old white man from Alabama told this man this.
You get mad.
You can't get mad because he's telling the truth. The white guys were so good at Florida State that they're memorable. Like one kid, I don't even know if the white kid, like I want one though. I'm glad he's coming because I want one of them white.
Another thing a white analyst couldn't say.
Yeah, you can't say this. You can't say, give me one of them little colored, fast, shifty kids.
I want one.
I want one of them fast, shifty white slot receivers. That'd be killing our ass, man. At least if nothing else, if he doesn't make a play at Florida State, I know we have been practicing against our kryptonite. Our kryptonite, Clemson had one that played 10 years. I don't know what his name is, but that white boy was giving us the business. And then Miami got a white Mexican or whatever his name was. I don't know. He had a little sauce, a little seasoning to him, but his white ass was killing our ass, man. Yeah, like, we guarded him. Florida got one. In Florida, that white motherfucker was killing us in the first half. I was like, can we please guard the white boy? Double team the white boy. I've never heard that in my entire life until recently. These white boys are great. They've been training. I blame me. That part of that's on me, guys. Because I had a phrase. Because if they're going to cancel me, right. I just thought about it. That might be the one downside to having my old Twitter back is people go Google it and search my Twitter. It's nothing really racist. It's race jokes. I've always made those. But I had a tagline, and it was true. It was absolute facts. I made white kids fast. I have a gift. And they say, why they got to be white? Well, it's not that I can't make black kids fast. I had Derrick Henry. But that motherfucker was fast when he came to me. The other motherfuckers wasn't fast when I met them. They became fast, but it's a gift. It's like a whisper. I'm a savant when it comes to that. I could look at a kid, tell them what to do, and they'll get better. Wish I could, and I tell people this all the time. If I knew me when I was your age, we wouldn't be having this conversation because I'd still be playing. But I was trying to remember the white kid's name, but his dad played at Florida State during the 93 championship, cold ass Pilgrim. We had a linebacker, Darrell Bush, number 44, cold ass white boy. K. Hall was a cold ass white boy. Offensive lineman was always white. We had a lot of white. They had a lot of white linemen. We had a true white, Björn Werner from Germany. we had an Aryan. That motherfucker was a badass motherfucker. He didn't do anything in the NFL, but he was a badass motherfucker. We were pure. But I'm just saying, some of this shit is just, damn, Dion, could have hit it a little bit, bro. Dion out here saying Dion wouldn't recruit his own fucking son based on his rules. That's what's funny. Going to the next thing. Nobody lies quite like old black men. Again, this could be the title of this show is could be old black men. That's why I go hang out at the cigar lounge. I love old black men. It's after Tom Brady, new Tom Brady hater, but it's always better in my day. Old heads talk about back in my day. And I'm going to just play this and we're going to dissect a lot of the lies that are told by Magic Johnson. Like things I don't want Magic Johnson to tell me about. Sex education is not his thing. I don't need him being a general manager. I don't know if you guys know this, but he had a little thing called the HIV. Now, granted, if you want to know how to get over it, he's the inspiration. Like I think South Park did something where he just that injected money right into his veins. But if you want to know about business development, Magic Johnson. But nobody lies about how great the 80s and the 90s were, like old black men. So if we can play this video, let's listen to audio with another elite capper, Steven Jackson, who is a 50-year-old man who needs to hang out in the projects to prove he's still tough. And whatever that light-skinned motherfucker that's spitting on people's name is. But go ahead, push that.
Were you and MJ even thought about trying to play together or nothing ever?
No,
The league wasn't like that.
You know what?
Y'all wanted to compete.
I wasn't a guy like that.
Yeah.
I never wanted to play with nobody but my dudes.
Yeah.
I was good. And
So he said he never wanted to play with nobody but his dudes. He was coached by one of the greatest coaches of all time, Patrick Riley. And I think Jerry Buss was your general manager. You know what he did? What those guys did? Surrounded him with dudes. James Worthy, Hall of Famer. Kareem, Hall of Famer. Like, I only wanted to play with my guy. Bitch, you had dudes. You had the Magic. Yeah, Byron, was not Byron Allen. The old coach, the guy who's used to coach for the Magic. He played for the Bulls too, I believe. Yeah, that'll come to me. But you had the best collection of talent in the NBA, bro. Your dudes was better than everybody else's dudes. All right, go ahead. Because this is what they keep talking about LeBron. Like LeBron don't have no Hall of Fame coach. And LeBron ain't never had a Hall of Fame GM. You had a Hall of Fame coach and a Hall of Fame GM.
I've always been a dude, wherever I end up, that's who I'm rolling with.
Yeah.
I love
And so
You ended up on they called y'all Showtime Lakers.
He got lucky.
And he's about to go and say, even a pickup basketball game. You know what but basically, you know what? All right, go ahead, push play.
So even pickup games, I never tried to get all the name dudes.
Yeah.
I tried to just get
Go at
dudes
you.
who want to play. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. I like that underdog thing anyway.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
let's go beat these dudes over here.
Yeah.
And so that was always my mindset, and I'm glad. But I would say this: that's what makes sports special, right?
Yeah, competitiveness.
Not everybody joining each
You
other.
had
Yeah.
You know,
four
go make it
Hall of
happen.
Famers
Yeah,
on your
If
team.
you the best, you got to go up against them guys anyway.
So
Were you and MJ even?
maybe you didn't. You know why you didn't try to partner with MJ? It's the same thing Isaiah Thomas said. You were MJ before you got the HIV. If you didn't go fuck every woman in LA, there would have been no MJ. Bro, this is how, so he sounds like everything I do, I want to be competitive. I just want to be the underdog. The United States was getting their ass whooped by sending college students over to the Olympics.
Right.
So what did they do in 92? They got Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, David Robinson. They got the greatest collection of athletes to ever be assembled. They got the fucking Avengers. You took the Avengers to take on the world. Shut that shit up, bro. Stop telling these kids that y'all was just, yeah, man. It was just me when I was back in my day. My team was, so I got tired, man. I didn't want to play. I let them pick all the good players, and I played by myself. I went 1-on-5, and I beat them, and I swept the teams. Tell people it's like Will Smith in that terrible movie, Tell the Truth. Like, it's not canonized, man. I don't understand, like, what is it, like, I get football players like Warren Sapp talking about on Vlad TV talking about the disrespect of Skip Bayless to Shannon Sharp, and that if Shannon Sharp played in today's era, he would be a lot better. I get why he would say that, because the middle of the field is literally open, but basketball has completely changed. Do you know why Magic Johnson was so good? Besides being a freakishly good athlete, I'm not going to take anything away from him. They played straight man-to-man during his era. You know what they call zone illegal defense? Do you know when it got zone in? I'll tell you when zone got brought in. It's when this little guy that was out of the Virginia area, that played for that played for Georgetown, who has some of the sickest handles ever known to man, made Michael Jordan's knees clap 2 times on the same drive. You know what he said? Help me. And that's when they started breaking in the zone. You can shift. You don't know who you're going to have. And you can start playing multiple defenses. They talk about the hand checks. LeBron wouldn't be who he is if they had the hand check. Like LeBron at one point wasn't 6'8", 275 and could play all 5 positions. I am sorry. Isaiah Thomas was a $175 at best. Hand check somebody that weighs 275 pounds if you want to. Your shit gonna be your forearm is gonna be fucking broken. Again, not taking anything away from the greatness that was Magic Johnson. But what we have to stop doing is having these old watch discussions about who's greater, who's better, or I didn't do this, I didn't do that. You know why you didn't do it? Because you didn't have to. Jordan had the best GM and the best head coach. He didn't have to do something. You know what Jordan did? Disrespected the fuck out of him. And he wasn't who he was until Scottie Pippen came. You know how he rewards Scottie Pippen? By training up his sons to fuck his wife.
Gee.
It's terrible. But again, it doesn't take away from how good of a basketball player he is. It's just Michael Jordan is a terrible person. Come on. It's documented. The man talks about how he doesn't like arrogant people, and then literally it talks about how arrogant Isaiah Thomas was, and literally made a 7-part documentary about how great he is. I'm sorry. Like, it was great, though. I loved it. I loved every second. Hell, I'm wearing Jordans right now. Speaking of terrible people, Brett Favre is a terrible person. If you haven't noticed that Brett Favre is a terrible person, Brett Favre still owes, Brett Favre stole money from the people of Mississippi, kind of like Deion Sanders, but worse. And now I think the way he's going to pay these people off, he was a part of a $77 million welfare fraud scheme. Now he wants to sue Shannon Sharpe and Pat McAfee for talking about how bad they are, how bad he was. Brett Favre is suing ex-NFL players and current media personalities Shannon Sharpe and Pat McAfee, as well as Mississippi Auditor Shad White for defamatory allegations made over the Packers legends' involvement in a $77 million welfare fraud scheme. Shannon Sharpe and Pat McAfee tried to further their careers by making baseless allegations against Brett Favre, says the spokesperson for the 53-year-old. Shannon Sharpe called him a sleazeball in September, accusing the retired quarterback of knowingly stealing $1.1 million. Former Colts punter, who now hosts a popular XM show, accused Brett Favre of stealing from poor people of Mississippi. Favre has not been charged in the case, which has already resulted in several guilty pleas, and he has since repaid the $1.1 million. However, Favre refused to pay the $228,000 interest being charged to him by White, while insisting that he did not know the origin of the funding to be received. I could have sworn they got like text messages with you being informed about that, but I didn't realize he paid the $1.1 million back. That was pretty solid. Trying to get into this. Pat McAfee's and Brett Favre's lawyer believes Pat McAfee will lose millions of dollars for attacking his client. We made it, boys. I guess whenever you get a little too big, you fly a little bit too close to the sun. I'm getting sued alongside Shannon Sharpe and an auditor from Mississippi by Brett fucking Favre. On Tuesday, Jason Whitlock spoke with Brett Favre's lawyer. Jason Whitlock, who is a fucking terrible person who I wish was at the sneaker thing, and I would have probably beat the shit out of him. Sorry, I just hate Jason Whitlock. He's a terrible person. And anything that you believe. But this is why Brett's a bad person. He stole the $1.1 million from families who actually needed this shit. Jackson, Mississippi didn't have running water, so that the University of Southern Mississippi could fund a volleyball facility where his daughter goes to school. So his daughter needed a volleyball gym. I mean, listen, one guy, one terrible person, his kid wanted to play quarterback, D1 quarterback. So he did everything. He screwed a lot of people so that his son had the opportunity to fulfill his dreams. Deion Sanders, that is Deion Sanders. Brett Favre decided that, you know what, fuck the people of Mississippi. My baby needs a gym. I'm going to get my baby a gym. Something that we did not talk about is the Super Bowl and Black History Appreciation, because it's been gone for a while. It's about to be a week. But I want to say this, and we'll go to Riri and her Super Bowl performance. But first, this is the 4th Super Bowl managed by Rock Nation. Jay-Z has improved a lot of different things. There's never been this many brown people that have been doing a Super Bowl before consecutive. In 2020, the first one, J-Lo and Shakira did it in Miami. The next one was the first Super Bowl I covered, The Weeknd. Last year's Super Bowl in LA, they got as black as you can get. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and even Eminem makes it blacker. Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent, and Anderson .Paak. And then this year, Rihanna. What they do is they have a list of artists that they want to perform. They'll interview the artist gets the first rights of refusal. It's typically never been paid that much. But like Jay-Z has also been able to get the artist to understand the bigger impact of what the Super Bowl is. So Rihanna actually did this for $0. But the fact is Rihanna's streams went up and her Fenty line went up, and she was one of the most Googled people on the planet. The Super Bowl is one of the most watched television productions in the world. Instead of pissing off everybody, they go one at a time and give people the opportunity to say no. And then there are themes for each show, and the themes surround the city typically. Outside of Phoenix, there's no really notable Phoenix people, but you're in Miami, you got to have some Spanish flavor in there. In LA, you got to have your LA artists. I don't know what they'll do in Vegas, but it'll be dope if Usher does it because he has a residency out there. And what's wild is in all of this, there's a lot of people protesting, and a lot of people don't like Jay-Z for whatever reason. But when you think about the NFL's and what the NFL has done right in involving minorities post Kaepernick is pretty good. The only thing the NFL hasn't done a really good job of still is in the coaching ranks and in the ownership ranks. It would be really, really good to see an African-American owner get the opportunity. But I will say there aren't that many that are available, and it is a business. And what I mean by that, you have to have 70% of your capital be fluid to be able to buy an NFL franchise. And there's not that many billionaires that could do it. And the reason, that's why Donald Trump could never buy an NFL team, because his money is tied up into things. And that just lets you know how rich Shad Khan is. Rihanna performed well, mixed reviews for some people. But I remember not interviewing her when she did a press conference. There was talks that, she was glowing, and women get that glowing reference when they're pregnant. And it flew right over my head until the Super Bowl halftime show. And you can clearly see that this was a woman who is clearly showing. And I have no idea this woman is crazy. But I'll say this: I never understood Rihanna until I got around her. When you get around Rihanna, hey, man, I bet got some energy, man. And nobody really people hate Jay-Z because he got Beyonce because they say he's ugly. But at least you kind of understand, okay, Jay-Z's like an icon, right? Yeah. Even before he became who he is now. But Rihanna getting A$AP Rocky is like the thing that all black, this is when I knew black women, your standards are too high. Rihanna's a billionaire. She went and got her version of Tyrese from Baby Boy. She got Jody. A$AP Rocky is not even on the same planet as Rihanna. She went and got the most random black man that she can get. And you know what? She loved that man's dirty draws. And what A$AP Rocky is doing is what you should do when you're in that position. Keep shooting the club up. And when men found out that her club was shot up, you had the Michael B. Jordan look. This is what collectively a lot of men just look like. They know it's over. She's got 2 kids. Ironically, this video, Michael B. Jordan says he wasn't really thinking about the girl, Steve Harvey's daughter at that point, but it was just a bad moment. But this is how everybody was looking at that halftime show. You wanted to be happy for her. But at the same time, you wanted to be like, man, you deserve so much better than A$AP Rocky. Boosie was devastated. Now, she doesn't deserve Boosie. But at the same time, Boosie got the same amount of clout on albums as A$AP Rocky. I've never heard somebody say, man, damn, I can't wait till that next A$AP Rocky joint drop. Boosie can play right now any club in America. You hear 2 red bones kissing in the back. 2 red bones kissing in the back. See, I don't know what that shit is, but it incite me, something like that. Boosie has clout. But I liked the performance. It was pretty decent. I didn't really want to, she played a lot of her hits. It was motivational, I guess. But one of the things that I see too is that, nobody hates black women more than black women. And somebody tweeted and posted consistently. Rihanna, just like all y'all, everybody else, she got a loser that she's got 2 kids with. She a baby mama. She not married. She ain't got no ring. And then some of us guys who listen to Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, and others said, no, she's not anything like y'all. She's like us. She's a billionaire. She's not marrying a loser so that she has to give him half when he leaves. See, what happens with women, like when they get to it, like Oprah's figured this out, when they get to a certain point and they've gotten to that as a single person, the last thing you want is some motherfucker coming in and fucking it up and taking half of it. To quote the most popular person on Twitter that's not verified, OJ Simpson, I'm just saying. And all of that, go check out the YouTube channel. Thank you for the 2 people who just subscribed. Just bought memberships. Please tell others to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 2,000. Once we get it out over that 2,000 hump, we'll give away $200. I get to 10,000 followers on @BigGameJames_. 10,000 followers again on @BigGameJames36. I'll give somebody $100. Because we were there and then I got jammed up by Jack. And shout out to Elon for giving me freedom again. I'm going to enjoy my freedom. I'm going to try to be a positive example on these Twitter streets of what not to do. I promise y'all will not trigger me by showing a bunch of black people getting their hair petted by white people. That is a pet peeve of mine. I really hate that. But I will not say I will kill you on social media again. I'll try to find more creative ways to express my outrage. But I appreciate them giving me another chance. I appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me all week. This stuff will be uploaded to the SoundCloud, so you'll be able to check this out on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or Spotify, hopefully here shortly. Appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me, and we'll see you guys next week.